way, but they unprofessional way, but they come to Minnesota. They shoot and kill at point blank range 2 American citizens, 2 Minnesota residents. And the administration is not allowing the state of Minnesota to investigate the killings. Some would say they both were ruled homicides. The homicides of 2 Minnesota residents. I've never heard anything like this before in my life.
Yes. Well, a lot of things you've never heard of, Joe, are happening under this authoritarian regime. Remember, unprecedented. We can't use that word enough. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. The Minnesota Attorney General and Hennepin County Attorney's Office have had it with Trump's DOJ's shenanigans. And today they announced that they are willing to take serious legal action against the federal government unless feds start to cooperate in the homicide investigations of both Renee Good and Alex Pretti. The feds are also blocking evidence sharing in the shooting of Venezuelan national Julio Sosa Solis, who was shot in the leg through a door by ICE agents who then subsequently lied about the circumstances of that incident, which we know is now a pattern with DHS, lying. Hiding evidence and obstructing our investigation is unacceptable and indicates a total lack of confidence in their agents' actions, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty said. We are prepared to take further legal action should the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice fail to meet our deadline and continue to obstruct our investigations. Our work will reflect commitment to transparency and accountability, even as the federal government tries to avoid both. Attorney General Keith Ellison said the FBI's refusal to share evidence with state investigators is unprecedented and deeply troubling, but it will not stop our work to uncover the full story of Pretti's death at the hands of federal agents. Now, according to the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, also known as the BCA, the FBI formally notified them that they are cut off. Said, nope, not happening. Cut off from receiving any help or shared material in these cases. In other words, the Trump regime will be investigating itself in the homicides of 2 American citizens. Horrific killings that we all witnessed, watched in horror in the light of day. The BCA will continue to investigate all of these cases without the help of the feds, according to a statement that they sent me.
In response, Democratic Governor Tim Walz stressed the need for impartial investigations, stating, quote, Trump's left hand cannot investigate his right hand. And Joe, given the fact that in 2 of these killings, at least, Kristi Noem immediately labeled these victims domestic terrorists. In one case, Stephen Miller called Alex Pretti a would-be assassin. This seems even more brazenly corrupt, with the appearance of zero interest in accountability. Zero. Absolutely none.
Frank, the feds came in, and these renegade agency heads who have been lying through their teeth from the very beginning, have these agents who behaved like thugs, behaved improperly. And that, of course, we heard that actually at a Senate hearing earlier.
Yes, thugs like Jonathan Ross, who is the alleged killer of Renee Good. And we all heard what he said about Renee after he pumped 3 shots into her after she simply said, I'm not mad at you. Here's Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego questioning CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott last week.
Rolling forward, after Renee Good was shot, the agent called her I quote, a fucking bitch.
And then when 2 weeks later, 2 CBP agents pumped at least 10 rounds into ICU veterans nurse Alex Pretti while he was defending women from their assault, DHS covered up the identities of the 2 killer agents until ProPublica named them, Jesus Ochoa and Raimundo Gutierrez, both longtime Customs Border Patrol agents, and Lord knows if we would have ever found out who they were because the FBI refused to share their identities with BCA investigators or Minnesota prosecutors.
Stopped altogether and said, we need to have a brand new training structure and or we have to hold people accountable. The fact that this is happening all the time means that you've created a space a command structure that has allowed this because these men feel that there's going to be no accountability.
Yeah, we all heard what J.D. Vance said. You have immunity, which is not true. They don't. This regime vilifies the victims and protects the predators. Where else have we seen this? Ah, yes, the Epstein files. Renee Good's son his school had to be closed for several days after her death because MAGA heads were doxing it. The child of a gun homicide victim was targeted because of the actions of our federal government.
Yeah, and Rev, this administration likes to say it's the most transparent in history. Well, here's a chance to be transparent, and they're doing just the opposite. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, which is the organization inside Minnesota that would handle this, has said this is unprecedented, that you have federal agents killing one of their citizens in the state, that it would not even be a question about sharing evidence. That's how the investigation works. And they're saying inside state officials that this is hampering their own investigation because the FBI is holding so much of the evidence that they can't actually they think they know what happened. They've seen the videos, but they don't have all the evidence they need to bring it to trial. So this is clearly the federal government saying we have something to hide here. Therefore, we're not going to share all of our evidence with the state.
Unquestionably, it certainly appears that they're hiding something. Because why would you interfere with a process that has never been interfered with? That the mutual cooperation helps an investigation. And the fact of the matter is that to break the norm in the first place, but then not to share, raises all kinds of suspicions while you're talking about being transparent. This is an absolute smack in the face of justice.
Yeah, and let's back up. They lost credibility, Joe, from the very beginning of both shootings of Renee Good and Alex Pretti. They first appeared to, and reporting shows, defamed the victim. Completely defamed the victim's name. Blamed the killing on the victim, had people on the far right echoing that, saying they brought it on themselves. The video, and most normal people who have logic, shows that's not what happened. So they defamed the victim, lied about it, and then denied. Defame, lie, deny.
The BCA, like I said, is continuing to investigate all of these incidents, and they are asking if you have any information on any of these cases to contact them. On the cases of Alex Pretti, Renee Good, or Julio Sosa Solis, the numbers and email are on your screen right there. I know so many of us are frustrated about the lack of justice that this criminal syndicate known as the Trump administration ever seems to face. I feel that too. But I believe that Minnesota investigators and prosecutors are not fucking around. 2 of their citizens were shot to death in front of the whole world. BCA investigators will present their findings with or without the help of the FBI to prosecutors, and Minnesota prosecutors will proceed. And lastly, here's the thing that is so beautiful about our federalist system. There is no statute of limitations on murder, boys. And Trump cannot pardon you from state charges. So justice is coming for you. It may not be today, nor tomorrow, or even next week, but justice will be served for your criminal actions against these innocent people. So I strongly urge every ICE thug agent to consider that before you commit another heinous crime against an American citizen or an innocent immigrant. And I applaud the actions of Minnesota prosecutors and investigators and anyone else who is pursuing justice on behalf of the people who live in this country where our federal government is failing and behaving in such a criminal and corrupt way. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for being here. Please follow me on my socials below. I will see you back here soon. Remain engaged. Keep on your representatives. And remember, the midterms are coming. So let's sweep out the trash, okay? Namaste.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.